We have breaking news and update now from the sheriff's officials in Monterey Park addressing a case of mistaken identity that left a man dead.
It happened Monday in West Hollywood. Let's listen in right now.
In a black shirt. Multiple deputies arrived to search the apartment complex for the suspect. They determined the suspect was possibly inside a specific apartment. Deputies fearing assault was underway inside, prepared to enter the apartment. As they assembled outside the doorway, the door suddenly opened and a man with blood spurting from his neck entered the doorway. A thin man in a black shirt, mere inches behind, exited with that first man. The deputies perceived the wounded man was under continuous attack by the second individual. 3 deputies simultaneously fired a total of 4 rounds in the defense of the wounded man. The man in the black shirt fell motionless and soon expired. Deputies subsequently arrested a man who was attacking a 3rd individual inside the apartment. Homicide investigators spent more than 24 hours working to determine the participation and the roles that the various people played in the sequence of events in this crime. They learned one of the initial shots struck the leg of the first man observed coming through the doorway. With great sadness, they determined that John Winkler was not involved in any criminal activity, and deputies had tragically perceived Winkler as an attacker when in fact he also was fleeing the attack. Investigators spent the last day and a half contacting Mr. Winkler's out-of-state relatives and the other individuals who were victims and witnesses to this sequence of tragic events. They have all been notified of the situation, which brings us to this moment. I want to personally express my heartfelt sympathy to the families of Mr. Winkler. Taking the life of an innocent person is a police officer's greatest nightmare. Nonetheless, that is the situation that we find ourselves here today. I have no doubt the entire Sheriff Department mourns the death of John Winkler, none more so than the deputies involved. I offer my deepest sympathies to all those who knew and loved John Winkler, and may God bless him. With that, I'll open up for questions. I have with me Chief of Detectives Bill McSweeney and Lieutenant Dave Coleman, who is handling the investigation.
Well, there you have it. They're giving an assessment of what happened that night. As they said, a night of confusion there in the 900 block of Palm Avenue, where John Winkler was mistaken as a stabbing suspect and was actually a victim. Sheriff's deputies shot and killed him by mistake.
And here's the issue, and we sort of missed part of that when we got into the news conference. The deputies were operating under a call for a stabbing suspect who is tall, thin, and wearing a black shirt or t-shirt. And that's exactly the description. It fits John Winkler. He's tall, thin, and he came out of that apartment right behind that guy wearing a black t-shirt or shirt.
And apparently that the other tragic part of this is the actual suspect was still in the apartment building with another victim.
He had all 3 of them in there holding him hostage.